Hello YouTubers, I wanted to come on here and show everyone how I got my worms to really multiply and lay a lot of cocoons. And before in the past, I've just been using these totes right here to raise my bins in, and I've already transferred most of my worms from this bin right here into this new vermihot that I just bought about maybe 3 weeks ago. So the worms have been in here for about 3 weeks. There's probably, when I started, just about a handful of worms that are in here. So what I did today was I just divided the vermihot, the first tray, into half, and I just scooped up half the worms, and then we're gonna make a new tray right here. I didn't record the bedding, but it is a composition of newspaper, shredded newspaper that I laid on the bottom, and then I mixed cocoa coir with the coffee grounds and laid that down. And after that, I scoop half of the tray right here into here along with all the worms, and you can see there are a lot of cocoons in this bin. Right there, there's 2 right there. Right there, that's a pretty mature cocoon right there. There and there. I mean, it's literally like covering the whole the whole bin over here. And that was only half of the tray that I transferred over. See, there's cocoons. I mean, everywhere I go, there's just cocoons right there, right there. Just tons and tons. So the worms have multiplied and laid a whole bunch of eggs in like the 3 weeks that I have them in here. And so I'm gonna show you what I've been feeding them. So my attempt for dividing this was because I wanted to give them more room to multiply by removing half of them onto the other bin. And so with this right here, I'm just gonna cover up the other half with the newspaper, and then I'm just gonna lay this one on top. So I'm gonna do actually 2 feedings, one from this bottom tray, and then I'm gonna actually start a new tray in order with the attempt to increase my worm count. And that way they have more room in here, and when I'm feeding here and also feeding there, they'll have more room to divide on this tray and also on the new tray right here. So that's that. And then on top, I made a mixture of oatmeal with corn flour along with eggshells that I grounded and put into this in a blender to make this very fine mixture here. And so every single time I go and I feed them, I mean, there are some food scraps in here, carrots and peels and stuff in here that were from the old tray that they didn't finish it. It's about maybe 5 days now, and I put a lot in, and they've almost devoured most of them already. So there's only a couple. Most of this is just like bedding, like newspaper, shredded paper bags. And so once I lay them in, I give them a scoop of this with every single feeding, and then just sprinkle it on top. And by giving them this right here in conjunction with the food scraps or the organic material, you don't have to do this, but I find that when I do this, I get a lot more of reproduction from the worms, and I get a lot more cocoons. And so the worms have been multiplying really quickly. And so maybe like a spoon or 2 just sprinkled on there like that. I don't even bother spraying it down wet. I just leave it dry like that, and then put the newspaper, shredded newspaper on top of it. Some of the food materials are already kind of moist, so I don't really bother to spray down the dry powder. So on top of that, I'm gonna add the shredded newspaper in here, just to cover it up. So that should be good. I'm gonna lay that tray right on top of this one. Sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand. Onto the first tray. But when I feed, I'm actually gonna feed both trays at the same time. Just because I'm trying to increase my worm count, and so I'm gonna feed it from both trays. We go through a whole lot of vegetables because we eat a whole lot of greens in my house, and so every single time when I go to bring out the peels and everything, I have way more than enough than the worms can eat. But when I'm dividing it like this, I'm getting more cocoons and more worms, and because there's more space, they will multiply a little bit more faster. Because if I just leave them in the first tray right here, at some point in time they're going to be self-limiting, and they're not going to produce more than what the container is going to hold. So by doing this like this, I'm hoping to get more worms out of it in about a month or so worth of time. All right, so that's it. I laid my empty trays right over here, and just cover the top back up again. I don't have any problems with fruit flies. Because what I do is I basically cut one of these cardboards and put it on top. I haven't done it, but I'm going to do it in a little bit. And put it on there so it covers up the food scraps and everything. Also keeps it moist, more moist for the worms, because I don't add extra water in here. The peels and my vegetables, I think when they break down, they produce enough water already that it keeps it pretty moist, so I don't add extra water. I don't spray any water into my trays. So that's it with the top on. And I will keep you guys updated in about 4 weeks or so to see how the bins are doing. All right, thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. I'm actually new to YouTube, so if you'd like to support me, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. Thank you.